How's it, guys? And welcome back to Chad Show, the health tech blogger. I'm Chad, your host, and here's the question. Here's the question that comes up every time. My resume has 30 years of incremented experience and is scaring employers. What should I do? All right. So, that is an excellent question. It's highly specific subject, and I will bring up a strong point and solution to this narrative that will draw you folks to a conclusion on what choices you have. Stay tuned, yeah? Our talking point will be toward this video, will be toward on my Substack post, and I will link it at the description. You can go ahead and check that out. I'll make a post after this video. I have to start with the video first, so in order to get the context from the video, and so that is why I'm doing it that way. Now this is structured logically to guide you through the process of de-aging your resume. That's something you got to do. I don't know why. And I will leave a link again at the bottom of this description in order you can follow my Substack page. Okay. Now, welcome to the Health Tech Blogger channel. If you're new here to my channel and part of the 50 plus still job hunting tribe, you know you know the drill. Your experience is the greatest asset and your biggest liability. Today, I'm pulling back the curtains on actual physical changes I made to my resume to stop sounding like a dinosaur and start looking like a modern leader. Let me show you how to fight back. Now, how to de-age your resume? Think about it. It's an knowledgeable problem, and it comes with experience. You got to know how to do it. Now, this is what the employers look at things, experience trap, right? Start by validating the audience's frustration, right? Explain that after the age of 50, a detailed 30-year career history is often interpreted by hiring managers or by their AI screening software, right? The ATS, um, as too expensive, too overqualified, or unwilling to learn ways, right? You're unwilling to learn new ways. Now that is not true. That is not true. Um, I was a front desk person with experience. I was also doing daily checklists or daily check logs that I did on the computer that I created myself. I work well with teams, lots of good traits, and I'm always on time, always there early, and I won't quit. I am willing to learn new things as long as they train. And that is what I have presented to my employers that, to be positive and do the work. And, this last time I did that same thing, but they didn't extend. So, what do you do then? So, I can share with you. So, what I realized that maybe at the time when I was working, um, maybe there was something that was going on and they weren't hiring maybe the different age. So the change of policy was that you had to be in college as or a high school senior, and you had to be somebody who's willing to learn how to run I guess the front desk or in an office setting on their own, not with nobody there. There's somebody there giving you the benefit of the doubt that you know what you're doing. So they give you task and you do it. And for myself, it was easy because I've done these things before. For college students, it would probably be harder because maybe they're not used to working in an office setting. So because they're in college so often, but this is a very good experience for them to dress up and be well trained to learn the job, and that's something I felt I've had experience with, and I think yeah maybe you need to move on and do something else like I'm doing right now. I'm creating my own business on Substack and being able to share it here on YouTube and connect those two together because both YouTube is a search engine and Substack is an article reader, and if you mesh them together, you'll drive traffic to Substack so that it will be able to find your video. That's the reason why I'm going to make the video first and then pull the information from the transcripts and mesh them together and have the optimization on the same page on both sides. So that is my first goal with that. Okay. Now let us think about what about if you were to prune down your resume to 10-year, right? The 10-year rule, right? Gotta take a sip of water. The 10-year rule, where you drastically edit your details on your resume in order to be more focused for that job. Okay. Now, the drastic edit or the drop in details advises viewers to dramatically truncate experience older than 10 to 15 years. I mean, that makes sense, right? Explain that. I need to explain to you that no one cares about the software you used back in 1998. And it's funny because, yeah, when I was working back in 1998, working on computers, um, the software then, like, like we have today, the upgraded version of our computers now. And you see how with the years come more advanced technology as well, like with AI. It's nice that they put AI on an cloud instead of in the computer, because some of the computers coming up nowadays, they have it in there, but it's nice to be able to run it through the cloud and be able to work with AI that way. Being said that, but for anything older than 15 years, we're getting back to the resume, sorry. For anything older than 15 years, compress it to a single line under the section titled Previous Relevant Experience, right? Or Career History. This will at least give the employers to see that yes, you have this resume of things that you have current, but you've done these things before that maybe have been um, in the past, and maybe it has been an older amount of experience, but yet they can see that you were willing to learn something, right? So that's kind of like where my experience had gone. Now, what actionable steps must you take? You got to compress your many of your explanation into a single line, and something that I mean, when I was reviewing my resume and trying to do it on my own, I did that without AI before, but it's nice to put it in AI and kind of put the prompt in there. Can you summarize my work experience down to at least each line for each job post, so that there's not a whole paragraph, but can be two lines of really actionable, viable work that you have done, and it's something that I've seen. When I give my resume, they look at it and says, "Oh, this is a very nice resume," but still, I haven't gotten hired, right? So, um, though the change is like if you were younger and you had a good resume, you would probably get picked up faster than someone who is in their 50s, right? So it's something to think about, yeah. Now, and then place all your details in bullet points. This achievement should focus on your past 10 years of experience. And I feel that, yeah, as they look at the subject, as they look at the dates and different things where you had worked at, I feel that they need to see the bullet points there so they can just scan over it and say whether you're a fit or not. And that's really the relationship you have with your employers. They want to know if you're going to be a right fit for their job, and they know exactly what job they have and what experience you have. If it matches, it matches. If it doesn't match, they can't move on. So that's why I have to quickly look through the resumes and know how where to put them. Yeah. And when you go to job fairs, a lot of times I see boxes back there, and a lot of them have resumes that they give to the employer, and I see them put in boxes. I don't know which they do, but they have one box that kind of like it's like the gold box, and the other one is the trash box. So basically, what is not going to go through is going to go to the trash, or not really the trash, but it's like the separated pile. And then they have the one that they want to take a look more into. So they put that right behind them, so that they know that those are the people they want to interview probably in the next um, week or two. And they'll start with you with a phone interview. This is what my experience is. They do a phone interview. If they want you to go further, then they have a personal in-person interview, and sometimes they have one person, or sometimes they have three people. And I practiced interview with three people, and it was very interesting, and know how to answer your questions and stay calm. Don't get all excited. Stay calm. Okay. Okay. What about let's see. I can't even see. Okay, we're at 11 minutes, so nice. Okay, what about shifting from role based to skill based, right? Rebranding yourself, okay? So, um, if you focus your immediate attention to your capabilities and not the dates you acquired them, okay? Let's see if we can understand that. Focus should immediately be on your capabilities and not the dates you acquired them. Okay. So I went to school back in 1990, the 1990s up to close to 2000, early 2000, mid 2000. And if you were to take that experience today, it would be irrelevant. But you can show that even though you have irrelevant experience, that you have the power to still learn. And that's what I had learned working in and learning IT, that I'm willing to learn any kind of focus on what kind of work I want to get into. So again, focusing on your skills, even though it was back in the 90s and early 2000s, you can still say I'm willing to learn even in today's market, right? So you got to be willing to be flexible with the type of work that you want to go into. And so looking at more actionable steps is to combine your old school skills with new skill tech, like leadership and mentorship, and um, being agile in the methodology and Notion workflow design. I like working with Notion. Notion allows you to build websites, and it's like a project manager website, calendar. Um, it's also like almost like Google Drive, and things you can actually utilize pulling information from your Google Drive into it. I mean, it's a whole new experience that I had learned like in a night or two, and it's pretty interesting because I'm building a website with it, and it's pretty good at collecting data and putting it all together, and intuitive in how you update and edit some things on your page, and especially your information that you are building. Like if I'm building a writing a book, it does more intuitive tell me what it is I need to correct and stuff like that. So it pulls a lot of information that I have had experience working with other websites on my own. And so I'm learning from Notion that this is like an upgrade, and it's totally free to, you can put out as much websites as you want in Notion, and it's totally free if you just know how to use the tools. There are AI tools you can use, but you have to buy credits, and I'm not willing to buy credits. I use my knowledge in order to learn how to build a website. So that is something that is very positive to use Notion. Okay, so what about the third strategy, right? language and design, the modern update, right? What is it that you need to have in your resume, right? You need to modernize the font and the layout. Now, what we want to stress is that the resume can look visually old, and mine did at one time, and suggest clean, modern, and accessible fonts like Montserrat, Ro- Roboto, and Calibri. And you folks have seen those before. These elements are dense blocks of text, so you'll be able to see them in text form in a block form. Being myself to have dyslexia, I have a hard time reading these, and I like having the dyslexic um, wording, which I'll put heavier on the bottom portion of the letters. But when you put a resume out, you can't use that, but just for my reading purposes. But for them, you need to put it in these Calibri, Maserati, or Roboto, in order to for them to understand it. And also when they put it through their ATS system, they will be able to read it better. And don't put any pictures, don't make it any color, just black and white. It's real simple. Um, Also, you want to swap out outdated verbiage or verbs of for powerful current action, verbs that are aligned with the modern culture. You replace managed with mentored or scaled with iterated. You know, those kind of things to help to make it sound much more up to date. Now, the education of de-emphasizing is moving it move your degree, especially if it's over 20 years, to the very bottom. And if you have a recent online certificate or of courses, something you can take like in LinkedIn, Learning Badge, Google certification. I just took one in Notion. I got one badge stating that it furnished the first part. The second part is a little harder. I didn't get that badge. I kind of had to walk away from it because it was just driving me crazy trying to get it done. But having that education and knowing what you need to do in order to build a website, that's awesome. So yeah, now let's take a look at the fifth one as interview prep. Now, in order to do an interview prep, you can't do it on your own. I mean, you can do it like this, where you can record yourself and see it, like I'm doing right now. But the best way to do is probably talk with someone else. And so, talking about preparing for the inevitable question, right? Why the job change after so many years, right? Why after 30 years you're thinking of doing a job change? Aren't you qualified for a role? Um, so if a question came up to me that way, right? Why am I job changing from a front desk office role to working for myself, working as a content creator, working as a video editor, a writer, and stuff like that. Um, I feel I have enough experience in what I'm doing in order to create some kind of information to share with people that have and love reading. And so sometimes, some people like to buy books and read, and there's others want to read online because these are more experience. Like we're sharing here on YouTube. This is our experience that we're sharing with you folks, and you are taking it as a product, right? As learning something from this video. And so I wanted to share if this is going to be an actual video that I either going to share with you or a paid one. This will probably have I'll put it on Substack and it will be there for a paid. So if you get this as a paid information, I just want to thank you for paying for this because this is just invaluable information that you can get. I'll probably make a shorter video later so that I can show that one. But yeah, so in order to practice this question, why the job change after so many years? Aren't you qualified for the role? Sometimes you are qualified for the role, but they have someone lined up for the job, and they will have to do the interview because it's just part of their deal that they have to interview at least so many clients or so many employees that apply to the job, just to give them a chance to see if they can get um, in, to the job. And so for myself, changing into this more practical, more it's more thinking and sharing your experience of 30 years and seeing how that could help someone who is either of our age or younger, like the generation Z and beyond, and younger than that, because they might not have enough experience to work in a job and know what it is they're doing. A lot of times the bosses come in, and even if the bosses are young, sometimes they're still running on the old system, and they're trying to teach the younger crowd how to use an older system, and it just drives them crazy. Like for us, I know how to type on an old typewriter, as well as an electric old typewriter and a computer. If you were to tell a younger person that, they would have a hard time understanding how to put the to put the paper in. You gotta align it a certain way, and then you gotta take the ribbon of the typewriter and know where to place it so that when you type it. So there's one typewriter. I learned that when you type it, it doesn't type anything, but you hear tut, 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 tut. And then when you press enter, that's when it goes and it types everything. So it's something that I had to learn for myself. So I made so many mistakes with that. But once I learned it, I never made a mistake ever again. And again, I wish I still was there working, but it is what it is, right? I'm gonna find a better job, which is YouTube and Substack. So to answer that question is questions for you. Here's the questions for you I can ask. Um, what is the most single effective phrase you used in an interview to pivot a question about your age tenure into a confident statement about your current energy and relevancy? So I'll ask you that question, yeah, and you can leave a comment below. What is it, your single most effective phrase? Um, when you're in the interview and when they ask about your age, if you're at the age of 50, what would be your statement to them to show that you're energetic, your current energy and relevancy really matters to the job? Leave a comment below. I want to hear that, and I may bring it up in my writing with Substack. I may bring your comments in to that, and you can read it. I want you guys to go down and subscribe to my Substack, and I will show you if I add your comments. I'll add your comments in there. But please um, keep it well read, and no swear words, no anything like that. But keep the comments real. I will put it on my Substack, and you'll be able to read that there. Okay. So this is the framework that I gave 5 to 60 segments within this video, making it easy for you to understand, making it easy for you to ensure that I'm providing very clear, actionable advice and statements that will help you solve the problems that you may have with your resumes. And I hope that this video is one that is helpful to you. And if it is, please like it, share it, and subscribe. I'll have more of these. Once again, I am the On Here Chad Show on YouTube, and a health tech blogger also on the Substack. And I have other what do you call? I have other um, links that I'm going to share on actually on Substack, that I already put it on Linktree. So Linktree is going to be on there. I'm going to post that there. You can go ahead and check my other writing gigs. Okay. Thanks again for stopping the chat show. I'll talk to you guys later. Aloha.